Before we start off, let me express a vote of thanks to ETTelecom for hosting this wonderful session. I think 5G clearly is redefining the digital India, and I think this event is very timely as we are kind of looking at exploring more and more connectivity options for our digital Bharat, for our enterprises, for our consumers. And no session, I think no event is complete without AI as a key topic. So I think ET Telecom has got this illustrious panel to talk to us about the innovation of 5G and AI coming together. And as we all know, AI is currently all pervasive. In fact, it is kind of overshadowing all the rest of the technologies. But when it comes to 5G, I think the relationship between 5G and AI is very symbiotic. While we're seeing telcos use AI to promulgate 5G operations, make the networks more efficient, we're also seeing 5G an essential component as AI is being deployed. And to leverage the benefits of AI, I think 5G is a must. So maybe I'll just start off with Mr. Bhardwaj, with you perhaps. Given that the government is setting the tone at the top, we would be very keen to understand from you what is your expectation of telecom industry to promulgate some of these emerging technologies, especially AI?
Thank you, Sonika. First of all, let me compliment ET team, especially Muntasir and Mansi, for putting up the kind of sessions today and this panel, all co-panelists. Sonika, let me start with this. Government is there as an enabler when it comes to technology, and that is the role, especially at Department of Telecom or in terms of technology we have been taking. For 5G networks also, it is the operators who are deciding in terms of what to roll out, how much to roll out. If you somebody in the morning talked about the triangle of massive machine to machine communication or URLLC latency, let me talk in common term, or higher speed. We didn't tell the telcos that this is what you deploy, then only we'll call it 5G. So that is the kind of open standards, open thing which we as a licensor or a policymaker have adopted. The operators are free to decide the network configuration. The operators are free to decide SA or non-SA, or how to transition, when to transition, how many sites, kind of a thing. Yes, Spectrum laid some condition of minimum rollout, but our operators and all of the TSPs deserve, and we at DoT keep saying at the highest level of Government of India, the kind of network rollout which our Indian telcos have done, and Minister spoke about this in the morning, is phenomenal. I mean, more than whole of Europe was done by India in first 6 months of 5G rollout. So all the telcos deserve that compliment. Talking of AI, government has the same enabling mentality. We have put our Indian AI mission. An investment of more than 10,000 crore has been assured, basically to enable kind of a back-end infrastructure on which is available to all the industry to harness and create use cases. 5G is all about compute, all about high network capacities, and without AI, telecom networks, the kind of adaptive networks you need, and Sham spoke about the kind of traffic which our TSPs carried during Kumbh, almost 68 crore of people in 45 days across that 10 square kilometer area. It was possible because networks were able to, in real time, scale and perform and provide the kind of requirement which users had, whether it was a pure voice communication or people making reels. So all that enablement happening day in, day out, thanks to, the network infrastructure providers. They are all adding compute at different levels. They're adding scalable networks. The devices are talking to network, and those boundaries, as Shyam said in the morning, are getting blurred in terms of use applications, device, and the network. And government is establishing the kind of digital public infrastructure which is required at the back end, citizen-centric services, so that every citizen is able to use these services. And the biggest thing, if I may use this platform to share, the government is looking at development of those skill sets and skilling, because that is what AI will require. The kind of people may fear that AI may bring down certain kind of job, but it's just like that. 80% of job market today comprises of jobs which were not existing 20 years back, just 2 decades back. So those kind of skills, those kind of revamping of manpower skills, which are necessary to bring in this new uh, age where the industry has the manpower which can create those, use this AI as something we all know. And I am repeating what Sham said in the morning. We actually do not know what this technology will bring. There is, beyond this wall, we do not know. So the kind of skills which are required, the manpower which is required to harness this, the age of AI, is where government is focusing. These are our 3-4 pillars.
Lovely, sir. I think in the true spirit of democracy, you've said that telcos are taking the charge, but I think you as government, I think, are enabling, providing that enabling infrastructure and background policies. I think that is commendable. Ludwig, if I move on to you, I mean, given your global experience, I think it will be, for this audience, I think it will be good to understand how are you seeing global telcos leveraging AI in their internal operations, in the external environment where they're dealing with customers?
Yeah, so turning sort of the global spotlight back onto India, what is super exciting for, particularly for AI, is the government commitment to the telco industry in India. Just relating to the IMC, and I've been fortunate to attend the IMC every year since the inauguration. No other event has that enormity of the whole society that's part of the development of the country, of telco in the country. No other event of that sort has someone like your Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, attending the event and speaking at the event. This is just unparalleled. So together with the investment of the 100 labs in India for development, really creates that potential for AI. For us, we have we have 3 centers globally for AI development, and one of them is here in India, particularly for that commitment that we see here. So more towards your question, how can operators utilize this capability? It's not revolutionizing operations yet, but it absolutely has the potential, and it is happening now. And I'll give 2 examples. One on operations side. For AI, we build it in, as I was mentioning earlier, we built it into the operations for our apps. So the platform utilizes the big data in the network, and this is mandatory for the size of your networks that you have in India. Just the amount of base stations, the amount of cell configuration is just impossible to do with other ways than using AI and big data. You might have heard of drive tests. How ridiculous is it not, a drive test? You're driving through an area, you're testing the mobile network. That is for that instant of time, physically going there to find out how the network is performing. AI provides that for you. So from an operations point of view, we have that as part of the RApps. The other part is preventive maintenance. So attacking the issue before it happens. This is how AI is used. But maybe more attractive is the revenue side. We all want 5G to make money. So the revenue side is particularly attractive because their AI is used as, as simple as a chatbot. So in our billing systems, we can now create new products by chatting with the chatbot, creating the products. But beyond that, how about the network starts to decide the offerings itself? So the data is already there in the network. So the chatbot can take its life on its own and create offerings and post them on social media. This is revenue creation. And both of these two examples are using data that humans, we cannot muster the amount of data, neither for the operations nor for the opportunity creation or the offering creation. So these are two areas we're doing today.
Thank you so much. I think this is a great insight into how networks are now geared to deal with the data load and the complexities that some of these emerging technologies are bringing in. Rashid, let me move to you. While AI, I think, has been in the play for a decade or so, I think the new buzzword is Gen AI, the agentic. Would be very keen to understand how has Airtel been leveraging some of these technologies in your business?
So we have been using GenAI for several of our business operations. First thing is in improving our customer experience. Right now we are using voice bots, we are using intent-based communication. We are also using tools where we are able to respond to the calls in a much shorter duration. 80% of our calls are automated responded and our response has become much faster and much accurate. On the digital marketing side, earlier we were creating campaigns through lot of manual work. We were able to address to a very small population of our subscribers, but using Gen AI, our campaigns are much more sharper. We are able to use all our channels at one go and a larger base, which goes to a more personalized kind of campaigns. On the B2B side, we are using the tools on GenAI where we are able to understand the customer requirements in much better way, have a more constructive discussions with the customers. Even our sales force, which is both on the B2B and B2C side, lot of efficiencies have improved, lot of productivity is improved by using GenAI tools. On to the enterprise customer, they want us to solve their problems using Gen AI. One of the example which I can take is on CPaaS kind of a vertical, where the call center, contact center and communication has become more automated, more responsive using our Gen AI tools.
CPaaS, I think, is a great example of use of Gen AI. Radhika, if I may move on to you on the same topic of Gen AI, GSMA has recently launched open telco benchmarks. Could you please elaborate a little more on how can Indian telcos leverage that?
Thank you, Sonika. A very good question. I would probably like to take a step back and brings everyone attention to or memory to how some of the AI models in recent times have I would not be incorrect if I use a word like blunder, had made blunders when producing results on the queries. So one is everyone is in the race of development of these AI tools, deploying it in their operations or respective use cases. And in the process, they are leveraging these open source LLMs to cater to their requirements. But as I said, in the race, what they are missing on is, how are the results being produced? Are they accurate enough? And in a lot of cases, misleading and inaccurate results have been produced. And this is what exactly this Open Telco LLM benchmark will do for the telecom industry. Uh, some of the open AI models were tested, and we found that there are limitations, or those models fell short of producing accurate results. Right. So to give you an example, GPT-4 was tested for telecom specific queries, and the accuracy of result was less than 75%. And when it was tested on queries which were pertaining to 3GPP specification, the number was as low as 40%. So it highlights the need of having a common set of practices, an industry-wide framework or benchmark where the telco industry can bring their AI models and use cases, and they can run their tests against them to see how are they performing in the real world challenges and use cases of telecom. And accordingly, you will get your results. You can fine tune your query, you can fine tune your AI LLM model, and so on. So, this is what exactly this Open Telco LLM benchmark will do. And coming back to the question of how the Indian telcos can leverage it, as much as the global telcos will leverage it, bring your use cases, bring your AI queries, bring your AI models, test it against the benchmark, see the accuracy of result before making a move to deploy it for either the customer operations or marketing or network optimization. Thank you.
Lovely. I think the future of Gen AI is sectoral specific insights, and that's exactly what you were trying to kind of bring in. Kapil, moving on to you, KPMG did a survey, and we found that almost around 55% of the TMT industry is actually saying that almost around 30 to 40% of their revenue or the product portfolio is going to be impacted by AI. Do you see that happening in your organization as well? If you can maybe just throw a little insight on how is AI being leveraged as an offering to your customers?
Yeah, so thank you, Sonika, and thank you everybody for your, at the esteemed panel for giving their views on AI and data and 5G. And let me just start, what is it that we are doing with respect to AI? And our chairman, Shri Mukesh Ambani, when he talked about, he envisions AI as something which will really transform the digital transformation for consumers, for our country. And on the same lines, Jio chairman, Shri Akash Ambani, he stated that we see AI as the engine for double-digit growth that we are looking at. From a revenues perspective, I hope that answers your question. So the double-digit growth, it will impact every sector, right? And what are we doing on the front of AI? There is a huge, data consumption. We've all seen that, what is happening. We've seen during the events, Kumbh was an event, Champions Trophy recently concluded. That was an event of mega data being consumed by the consumers in our country. And this has evolved over the last 7-8 years. And my colleague talked about, 8% of the global data getting consumed at our network, Geo network. I'm not talking about the Indian network, but our network. So I think it becomes very, very relevant to see this growth which is happening. How do we, make use of AI and really take it to the next level with our operations on the internal side, and really making sure that our employees, they also, start using that, making sure that our workflows are essentially embedded with AI. And another data point I just wanted to mention, we are building, data centers, AI data centers all across. And one of the largest data center which is being built is in Jamnagar, gigawatt data center on renewable energy. And that is going to be the largest on renewable data center globally. So when it comes to AI, we don't see ourselves just talking about AI, but actually building AI. That's where, we come from. And Jio, with its expertise in network, with its expertise in operations, with expertise in building infrastructure, and with our expertise in handling data, we believe we'll be able to create the most affordable AI infrastructure to run all the applications across the globe. So that's the kind of strength we bring in, not only for our organization, but for the entire country. And when it comes to strategy for AI, we have a dual-pronged strategy. A, is to use it for our operations, and B, how do we take it to the enterprise customers as well? And not only the enterprise customers, but also to the home customers, to the end users. Because once you start making it affordable, once you start making it enablement happens at the home, then this really takes off. So when it comes to network operations, our colleagues talked about it. I think we have seen a major uplift in our network operations when it comes to uptime. And that's because of how we use the predictive AI tools to manage the traffic patterns across. And this has really helped us also in our operational efficiency. So whether it is automated fault detection, somebody talked about drive tests, and so all that in terms of operational efficiency, when you start looking at that, AI really has helped with the humongous amount of data which we carry over millions of customers. So traffic patterns really, we see that what is happening, and based on that, we really use AI to provide the solution. Then we have a thing called GeoBrain, which is our internal hub for all the AI-based applications, where we are really reaching out to our employees to make sure that they are skilled to use those tools as well. And subsequently, this is resulting in all the workflows I mentioned. We are able to utilize that fully. So all in all, I think we are seeing a major shift which is happening when it comes to data growth. And to manage that growth, what we say is there's no AI strategy without a data strategy, right? So to look at from that angle, we have that data, so we are making sure that we get the AI data. We streamline various forms of data to make sure that we can utilize that, and then subsequently have that platform enablement for all the AI-based applications across. So, so that's more on the part, and I think you are wanting me to conclude, but just let me just quickly talk about the external world, and my colleague previously talked about the enterprise. So, on the home part also, we are come up with the cloud-based AI-based platform for homes, which will really help, again, the home consumers as well to utilize all the AI-based applications which will come along.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kapil, for these insights. Mr. Bhardwaj, you briefly talked about some of the enablers that the government is kind of working on. You talked about skilling. Could you elaborate a little more in terms of what would it take for AI to be democratized? We talked about these large data centers that are being built, infrastructure that is being built, but from a government's perspective, any key initiative that you would want to talk about?
So one thing is in terms of how you are using the data and how we can enable our citizen. You know, the digital frauds and spam calls have been one of the biggest menace which this connectivity and ubiquitous connectivity has provided. Now each one of us has direct or indirect experience of these kind of calls and digital arrest and digital fraud. So Government of India, DoT, was first one in terms of pioneering the whole initiative in terms of crowdsourcing the information in terms of who is making these calls, and then sharing that intelligence both from telco side to the telco or WhatsApp or whatever kind of messaging app we are using. That is on A side. B, on the side, working together with other arms of the government under as part of I4D, where we have initiated action, criminal action against, punitive action against people who are creating those kind of established networks. So the Sanchar Sathi initiative, and I don't want to talk of mind-boggling numbers, but within last 1 month we have asked Meta to disconnect or stop 2.5 million WhatsApp accounts. So that is the kind of work which is happening, and all these is using a back-end AI API-based connectivity real time, which is working simultaneously with the complaint received through 1930 platform, information received on Sanchar Sathi portal, information shared with various agencies, and at the same time working with TSPs or the OTT service provider messaging apps and disconnecting them on the fly. Today, every half an hour, each TSP reports back to us in terms of compliance of the complaints or the RAI engine once it decides. And there are obviously certain benchmarks, certain rule engines are there that how many complaints we received for disconnecting a number, and every day. And same kind of effort is being used in terms of identifying, finding the lost mobile handsets. And across India, every day the number of mobile thefts have gone down to this level that only 1 week back, and I have to share this anecdote, I am sorry this clock is running, the DGP of Tamil Nadu shared that now we have intelligence to tell us that these kind of groups or gangs which were doing mobile theft are now taking these mobiles out of the country, because they know if they resell this stolen mobile in India, through Sanchar Sathi app, police will be able to identify and track that mobile. So he said, we have now seen that there is a route of all these getting packaged and being shipped out of the country because your app is able to connect. So we have to now work on international collaborations on using these kind of AI tools. In terms of collaborations, we have, you may be aware that we established focus group. There is a focus group comprising of the best brains of AI industry, GenAI, AMD, Meta, Microsoft, Accenture. They are working together to give us a set of recommendations which we can then work on in creating a policy framework to enable AI or use of GenAI in telecom network. The other thing which my TSP friends have already spoken, in terms of consumer experience, in terms of different use of AI, we as DoT or TRAI regulator both are now working, instead of quality of service norms, we are working on quality of experience norm. We have moved far away from drive tests that my friend Ludvig spoke about. We are now looking at real-time metadata in terms of, because in 5G network, you can actually in real time see the number of millions of consumers using millions or gigabytes in terms. So all that change in regulation is being contemplated with the use of AI. How do we identify that consumer experience is what? And last but not the least, we are working on cross-country collaborations. Only last month, which is February, we signed an MOU between CDOT and UK Sonic. We have already signed MOU with Barrack, where we are working on use of, sharing of intelligence among each other, so that we can know what are the best policies and regulation to enable AI in telecom networks.
Thank you so much. So, I think it's inspiring to see how you're leveraging AI to secure India. So, great initiative. Ludwig, if I can move to you, you talked about, how AI is revolutionizing the networks, but, with this ever-changing technology, what do you see as the future of networks? Do you see anything that is being deployed globally, which maybe India has to catch up, or do you think India is already ahead of the game? Your perspectives?
Well, let's go back to the premise of 5G. So 5G is really about low latency and high capability. The problem, as of course our operators on the panel would know, you cannot provide that to everyone all the time. And I'll use again the example of the concert. When you provide differentiated connectivity, when AI helps you to provide that differentiated connectivity, imagine again for the Coldplay concert. I happen to like Coldplay, but Indian music really gets me going as well. So imagine you're at that concert, and you cannot upload what you're seeing. So the Singtel executive that was at the concert, of course, she had first class on her mobile, and she was able to do that. Imagine the joy that is there to be able to do that. Same thing for the other concert goers that are there. But I'll share with you the problem. So the problem is that it has to be configured in advance. And with AI, you're able to look at what are the needs of the network, like the Kumar example that has been cited so many times today. With AI and the intelligence of the network, you're able to figure out what the network needs in advance and provision for it. And by using the features like URSP, you can on demand set up those slices of the network. That is really where it can provide advantage.
Maybe Radhika, I mean, your perspectives also on this, given that you also your organization has also been working on the network side. I mean, if you can share, what's the future of networks with 5G and AI?
Thank you, Sonika. And I think Ludvig has added very interesting points. There is no dearth of narrative around how AI can really help us with network optimization, with the concepts of AI in RAN, automatic sleep shutdown cycles, self-healing networks. But I would like to bring another perspective into the conversation, which he briefly touched upon. So there is something called AI for networks, and there is something called networks for AI. So as the load of AI application increases, as as I said in my last one, as everyone is in the race of deploying AI, and with telcos, network optimization, maintenance, automation is one of the topmost use case. So our networks should also be prepared to handle those workloads. And so investment in networks, and I think Mr. Ahuja really highlighted something interesting, that the infrastructure, AI infrastructure that Reliance is investing in, the AI data centers and all, the cloud integration, the edge capabilities, inferencing. So these are the usual terms, these are the usual things we had been discussing, but the need is more now with AI-powered networks. Your networks also need to be ready to deliver those applications and handle the workload.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry, I know the buzzer is gone, but I do want to cover two more questions. So maybe, Rashim, from your perspective, if you could share, what's the role of partnership in deploying AI by telcos? If you can maybe just share your thoughts.
So telcos are very strong in building a large infrastructure. We have done a significant amount of work in building a strong in-house AI algorithms which are serving our operations for, say, energy saving, assurance, driverless testing. We have done some good work in building a strong spam and scam control engines. A lot of work done internally on GTM, on handling queries by call centers. And a telcos traditionally has a very strong underlay ICT network. On the partner side, they have a strong platform. They have a very good roadmaps. I see both of them working together to pick up use cases which can be monetized, which can increase our efficacy. And I would expect a partnership which can build the India-specific models, which can help our customers in a much better way.
Very true, Rashim. India-specific models is what we need. My last question, maybe couple to you, around, the space is AI is a space which is kind of dominated from all kind of players, from startups to big tech companies. What differentiation do you think a telco can create in this market?
So for us, as I mentioned in my earlier remark, we are not talking about AI, we are building AI. And I think one of the things which is really out there is that we have the experience in building data centers, we have the experience in networks, we have the experience in data. And that really is the fundamental for really building this AI infrastructure and enabling. I think that's very critical, that we see it as an enabler, not only for us. So for networks, we utilize that for our work processes, we utilize that, but we are looking at how it enables, in a very cost-effective manner, how do we bring the cost levels to a significant level, a lower level, so that it is adopted across. So there are things that we do, with the partnerships that we do, and if you look at us, the kind of patents which we have filed on 5G, on 6G, on AI, and if you look at our, overall strategy towards really moving towards the AI-based networks, utilizing that internally for our processes and making sure that we enable all the enterprise customers as well. So we believe we are strongly positioned to really making it affordable and taking it to the next level in the country.
Thank you for actually summing up this entire session, because I think telcos are the fulcrums of deploying a lot of these emerging technologies. So, and I think it's the true ownership is on actually on you guys and the enablers, the infrastructure providers and the OEMs, to kind of create that democratization of AI, which is truly possible for India. With that, I think I'll thank all the panelists for your views. Thank you so much. Sorry we ran a little over time, but we started late.